Hello and welcome to the Handyman's World, the right place for quick and easy fixes. Today we're dealing with espresso machine water leakage. So let's stop talking and start working. Here's the problem. The machine keeps leaking and keeps filling the tray underneath. Let's take everything apart to see if we can fix this super annoying leak. Alright, here we are dealing with our coffee machine. Let's separate what we don't need and start disassembling. Home problem? Fix it fast and save cash. Subscribe now and hit the bell to get the solutions you need. The Handyman's World, no problems, only solutions. Here's the machine taken apart. After analyzing it for a bit, I'll try to explain how it works. This is where the water tank connects. This one here is the water pump, which draws the water through this tube. The water goes up to this T connector and splits into two paths. This path sends the water directly to the boiler, which is right back here, heating it up. Then the hot water reaches the brewing head, right under which sits the coffee pod. Meanwhile, there's another tube that reaches the head of the machine from the left side. Finally, we have this solenoid valve, which basically dumps the excess water straight back into the tank. Now, this tube here, controlled by the same solenoid valve, is for releasing pressure. It also operates the pod-piercing piston, which sits down here. So what happens at the end of a brewing cycle? This solenoid valve simply releases the pressure from this circuit back into the tank. So here's what we need to do now. We have to figure out whether the leaks come from the circuit that injects the water into the coffee pod or from the circuit that drives the piercing piston. Here's the test that I'll do. I'll disconnect the hot water supply tube and place it inside this glass. Then check if the leak continues. So while I was running this test, after disconnecting the hot water line, I noticed something. I completely emptied the lower tray of all water. Let's repeat the test. The only water now in the head is what drives the piston. Watch what happens. As you can see, there's a major water leak inside the piston control circuit. So the only way is to take everything apart and see what happened inside. Alright, now it's clear. Water is pumped right in here, goes into a chamber, and since the water is not compressible, it pushes the piston downward, making it press onto the coffee capsule. These return springs here allow this plate to move back and expose the spikes that pierce the capsule. So what's happening is that something inside this system is leaking. The condition isn't great, so first I'll clean this wall piston assembly really well. Okay, here we are again. I've cleaned and reassembled the piston group. Let's mount it back and see if the leak is gone. This is definitely water, more proof that it was leaking before. Let's apply a bit of red silicone gasket sealant to make sure it won't leak again. Now let's first check if it works. piston works perfectly. Now let's see if the leak we had before is still here or if it's fixed. Alright, the tray is dry. Let's start the test. The piston goes down, the piston comes back up, and there's not a single drop underneath. Let's reassemble everything and do one last test. Now I run a test with the hot water coming from the boiler. As you saw, the piston didn't even move when the circuit was pressurized, which means there is absolutely no leak. As you can see down here, there's a bit of water, but it's hot water, so it comes from the boiler. That's probably because we are testing the machine without the capsule. So what we can do now is put everything back together, get some coffee pods and make an actual coffee. Alright, we got the pods, and we are ready for the final test. Let's enjoy our coffee. So good. Let's double check there's no water in the tray. Perfect, it's dry. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next tutorial.